Hey everyone, Mah-Dry-Bread here. Pokemon X with only gift Pokemon was a pretty fun and fast team run. Let's follow that up with a solo run. Today's the day we figure out, would I be able to beat Pokemon Fire Red with a team of only one Torkoal? Now Torkoal is actually a pretty strong Pokemon. It's got crazy defense, and it's pretty good at everything else other than speed. We have White Smoke as an ability, so stat reduction moves don't work on us. Also, it doesn't say this in the description, but Bulbapedia tells me that it cuts wild Pokemon encounter rates in half, so that might make grinding annoying, but for the most part, it's a great Pokemon. Really, this is all about what level I can get a great Pokemon to the end of the game at, when we're probably going to be acting second in nearly every single fight. By level up, we have a few moves that I'm interested in. Flamethrower is super strong, so that's a must, and Curse might be good for getting tankier at the cost of our already terrible speed, although the attack raises will mostly go to waste, since all the fire moves are special in this gen. Body Slam could be good, but I'm kind of interested in Amnesia, just to make sure that water moves aren't too brutal, but then again, Iron Defense would help us with ground moves. Wish I had more move slots. By TM, we could get something like Return, Sludge Bomb, or Sunny Day, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna need any of those. Body Slam could be worth keeping because of Paralysis. Sludge Bomb only really helps against grass types, and I could just use Flamethrower for those. And am I ever really gonna need Sunny Day? Probably not. I think I'm mostly using level up moves this run. Like always, I'm writing the script as I go through with the challenge, so all this part is being written before I've started. Everyone comment down below and guess if I can win or not. I'm confident that I can win eventually, but I think that it'll be different fights than usual that will be difficult just due to being so slow. I'm excited to see what fights we just aren't tanky enough for. Let's explain the rules. In combat, I can only use Torkoal. I'll need other Pokemon to use HM, so I won't be allowed to use any of those Pokemon in battle. No glitches or exploits, no items in battle, only Pokeballs, held items, and items outside of combat are allowed. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more. Let's do this. So, right off the bat, I used the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Charmander with Torkoal so that we can do the whole run with it. I picked to replace Charmander so that our rival would have Blastoise, probably the hardest for us to fight. Our nature is Rash, for more special attack and less special defense. This is only the second nature I got, and it's probably not a perfect nature, but I think it'll be a fun one to roll with. It'll make us weaker to water, so that might be interesting. I name him Blastoise, because that's hilarious. Alright, so we've got early game travel, and I really don't know how this first bit is gonna go. Yes, we're a strong Pokemon, but we have the Rock Gym first, followed by the Water Gym. Two gyms that we're weak against. Not only that, but they both resist our Ember, so I can't expect to do much damage. I don't get a decent non-fire attacking move until level 20, so hopefully I won't have to grind quite that much. Let's just hope that it's not as bad as I think it might be. Who knows, maybe we're just so tanky that it won't matter this early in the game. Also, going second really sucks when you're fighting a bunch of Weedles that poison you, by the way. I actually fainted to poison damage while walking around a couple times in the forest. So after a short grind, I got to the Rock Gym at level 12. I used Curse once right away, and after just a few embers, he switched to Onix. It was pretty much just a chip fight. I was really hoping to burn him, but it wasn't happening, and things got worse when he used Bind, so I was taking extra damage, but it still worked out. We eventually took out Onix with a little less than half of our health left. Geodude wasn't too much of a problem when it came back in. We once again didn't burn him, but a crit helped speed things along. Looking back at it though, I think I'd have won even if we never crit him or burned him, just as long as he didn't crit us. That wasn't so bad, but we're absolutely gonna lose to the Water Gym, right? On our way there, I took the Helix Fossil. I knew that if I didn't say what I took, you'd all ask. Actually, now that I think about it, everyone asks anyway. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Alright, so, as I expected, the Water Gym was awful. Even with Body Slam doing great damage, Staryu really messed us up. We didn't stand a chance against Starmie after that. Maybe we can beat our rival, though. I don't actually have to worry about Sand Attack for once because of White Smoke, so maybe it won't be so bad. So right away, Pidgeot crits us with Quick Attack, and hits Gust before we can make it faint, but even with those two moves, it hardly did anything to us. Squirtle had me worried when his first move was Withdraw, and it kept it from being a two-shot. His Water Gun did decent damage, but thankfully, we ended up paralyzing him fast, so we could go first on the last round to take him out. Abra was of course just a one-shot, and last was Rattata, who hit a quick attack before going down. I think the only reason we won that fight was because white smoke kept us from being sand attacked. If we got hit by sand attack, this would have been so much worse. Well, with that done, I decided to just go do Nugget Bridge and the SSN. The SSN was actually kind of annoying because of all the water Pokemon, but I really need the levels. I'm worried that I might be in one of those situations where I'm beating our rival on the SSN, but I'm still not at all close to beating the water gym. It doesn't happen often, but it's annoying when it does happen. Alright, so by the time I was done with the SSN, we had Flamethrower. That made the rival fight pretty trivial. We hit really hard with it. Think we can brute force the water gym though? I really don't know if I'll actually do more damage with Flamethrower or Body Slam. I figure it's gotta be Body Slam by a little bit though. We hit really hard with Flamethrower, but the combo of Starmie being water type and having solid special defense makes me think that Body Slam is the way to go. Wait, hold on, is Starmie's defense and special defense equal? Whatever, I'll try either way. Alright, so this was really close due to Water Pulse hurting us so much, but Flamethrower was just doing enough for a 2-shot, and we were just tanky enough to be a 3-shot. That means that even with us being slower than her, we still won. After that is the Electric Gym, and although we got paralyzed by Pikachu and had a rough time hitting Raichu at the end between paralysis and his double teams, we still won and hardly got hurt in the process. Too easy. With that part of Kanto done, we can get our hands on a new move. I have stuff like the Grass Gym, our rival, and Giovanni coming up. But on my way there, I make sure to pick up Rock Slide from the move tutor in the Rock Tunnel. I figure it's probably going to help us quite a bit over the course of the run. It's a shame that we're so slow and it's not likely to cause flinches, but hey, you never know. Maybe we're going to need a Quick Claw and flinches at some point. Oh yeah, and while we travel, it's a great time to remind you that this show is mostly just fan-funded at this point thanks to you guys between stuff like Patreon, YouTube memberships, and Super Thanks. I still hate that it's called Super Thanks, by the way. It blows my mind that they have not changed it for years now. It's so awful. I have no idea why they're not just called super comments. I mean, if a super chat is a super chat, why is a tip and a comment not a super comment? Everybody already knows what a super chat is. If I said super thanks and you don't know what a super thanks is, you have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about. But if I were to say super comment, you could probably figure that out. Anyway, if you pledge $1 or more a month on Patreon, then you get these challenge videos between about 6 and 12 days early, just whenever I finish editing them. Alright, now let's go fight some trainers. Okay, so obviously the Grass Gym was easy. We got paralyzed early on, but we still swept them and only took like 8 damage the entire fight. Let's go after our rival next. He might be easier than Giovanni. So this is usually an easy rival fight, and this time is no different. Aside from a bit of damage from a water gun, as well as us taking an extra hit against Growlithe thanks to missing Rock Slide, we had an easy time. I figure the Giovanni fight after this probably won't be too bad. We can probably just brute force them with Flamethrower by now. Yeah, that's what I thought. Giovanni was super easy. He didn't have any ground moves yet, so he just isn't really a problem. Okay, so we're getting to some harder fights of the game now. We have the Poison Gym and Silphco. I think the Poison Gym might not be too bad unless we get poisoned, and then they do something like spam Minimize. That could be awful, but the chances of that actually stopping us is pretty low. Actually, I'm really hoping that we can win the Poison Gym early, because I want to do the Fire Gym early just to see if I can win with Rock Slide. Our actual next rival fight might be the first really hard one, since that's usually when the rival becomes difficult, but if that goes well, then I'm sure the one before Victory Road will be hard. I'm not too worried about the Psychic Gym, but I could see the Ground Gym maybe being a problem. I grabbed the Quick Claw from the Safari Zone. I'll swap between that and the Charcoal depending on if I need power or speed. Let's give the Poison Gym a try. Well, we did actually end up getting hit by Toxic and taking quite a lot of damage from it, but it wasn't until Wheezing at the end. If the fight went a few more turns, then we would have lost, but it ended up going fine. Let's see how the Fire Gym goes. Alright, first is Growlithe, and we take some damage from Fire Blast, but at least we don't have to worry about Intimidate thanks to our ability. We actually ended up getting hit twice thanks to Rock Slide missing though. It's a bad start. Ponyta also hit Fire Blast before we one-shot it, so we're at about half health now. Rapidash actually missed its Fire Blast, so we got a one-shot in without getting hurt, but Arcanine is a beast. Fire Blast missed right away as we hit Rock Slide to take out more than half of its health. Then his second Fire Blast hit us to nearly make us faint before we took him out. That was so close. Missing that rock slide at the start really hurt us, but the Fire Blast misses saved us by the end. Okay, after that is our rival, and although Pidgeot is of course very easy, Blastoise isn't. Yeah, I mean, his Blastoise, not ours. He's faster than us, is hitting pretty hard with Water Gun, and we aren't doing a ton in return. Let's keep trying this. Maybe if I build up some curses against Pidgeot, then I'd stand a chance. It won't help us survive Water Gun, but it might make our Body Slams a 2-shot. Okay, so I got 2 curses in, and this time we could beat his Blastoise, but we lost most of our health doing it. We somehow survived Growlithe with 2 health left, but Execute beat us due to being too slow. Man, this is actually pretty hard. I'll clean up some of the trainers here and keep trying. Maybe I just need a few levels. Okay, so I got 4 levels and tried more. Now by using Curse only once against Pidgeot, we can still get our 2-shot, and we survive with a bit of health left. It's not much, but 51 is better than before. Growlithe is still easy, although it drops us to only 40 health, and I was really worried when Execute showed up to Stun Spore us before we one-shot it. Last is Alakazam, and we easily could have lost, but he used Future Sight for some reason, so I scored a 1-shot. That was insane! Why did he throw the fight like that? His AI must have seen that Future Sight was a 1-shot and didn't consider that it would take a few turns to actually hit me. After that is Giovanni, but of course he hardly even hurt us. We got poisoned at the end, but it was right at the end, so it wasn't a big deal at all. Super easy fight. Alright, the Psychic Gym was just funny. So we one-shot our way to Alakazam because of their terrible choice of buffing themselves instead of fighting back with their speed advantage, but Venomoth did confuse us. We hit ourselves twice in a row while we were also being hit by Psychic when up against Alakazam. All he had to do was hit us one more time with Psychic, but for seemingly no reason at all, used Future Sight. We snapped out of confusion, then we body slammed for the win. They completely threw the fight, easily could have got us with another Psychic, and there would have been nothing I could do to stop it. That was amazing. We just had 2 Alakazams throw their fights. Last for the gyms is the Ground Gym, and this one was close. The Rhyhorns were easy, but the Dugtrio, Nidoqueen, and Nidoking all Earthquaked us in a row. We are crazy tanky, so each one didn't do a ton of damage, but one more Earthquake and I think we would have fainted. It was cool seeing both our terrible speed and our amazing defense both come into play here. I think the rival is going to be a loss though. Okay, rival time, and this is 6 tries in because of horrible crit and missing luck. So I have to use Curse right away against Pidgeot before I can Rock Slide it down. We took an extra hit due to missing a Rock Slide here, but it hardly did anything. The problem is, second is Rhyhorn, and it's super annoying with Rock Blast. It often crits us or just hits 5 times. This time we hit a Rock Slide, then a Flamethrower to take it out, but only after missing a Rock Slide and then him missing a Rock Blast. Flamethrower isn't enough for a one-shot, but it's very close, so that's why I tried Rock Slide instead. It doesn't matter though. After that is Blastoise, and although he makes it rain first, so we don't get taken out instantly, Body Slam isn't even close to a one-shot, so of course we go down. I think it's finally time that I have to gain some levels. Maybe once Rhyhorn is a one-shot, this will be possible. So I came back 3 levels higher, and this time I didn't use Curse at all and just took out Pidgeot early. I did this because it means that we're faster than Rhyhorn, and he's a one-shot now with Flamethrower. Now next is Blastoise, and because of not using Curse, we wouldn't normally Body Slam for enough damage, but we lucked out hard. We crit right away, it paralyzed him, then he was fully paralyzed for 2 turns. We took a lot of damage from Water Gun, but we still took him out. Growlithe was faster than us and hurt us very slightly before we one-shot him. Execute was slower than us, and we one-shot it with Flamethrower. And last is Alakazam, who actually wasn't a one-shot with Body Slam. All he did was disable Flamethrower and hit Psychic before we took him out. If he just used Psychic twice, we would have lost. That fight was all just the luck of beating Blastoise and Alakazam not fighting better. Well, we've been pretty strong for most of this run, but how badly that rival fight went makes me think that it's about to get worse. Lorelei has some good water moves, Agatha is faster than us and spams a lot of good effect moves like Hypnosis, and the Pokemon Champion is just the rival fight but harder. I could see us needing to be something like level 80 or higher before we can win, just because of how many hits we're going to be taking due to being slower. I might use the Quick Claw in some of these fights, I'm not sure. Charcoal only gives us 10% more power on fire moves, because this is Gen 3. So although it's good, it's It's not huge. We'll see. Now that we're at the Elite Four, let's take a look at our stats. Well, our defense is amazing, and both our attack and special attack rock. Really, it's just the speed and the special defense that I'm worried about. Even then, the special defense is a bit better than I expected. I'm predicting that Lorelei, Agatha, and the Pokemon Champion are all going to be a problem, but Bruno and Lance probably won't be too hard. Make your final guesses on if we can win this or not. Let's do this. First is Ice Trainer Lorelei. Alright, so on the first try, I wanted to use a combo Flamethrower and Rock Slide to beat Dugong, but it ended up surviving just due to Flamethrower doing a lot less damage than I was expecting. We got lucky on her wasting time with Hail and Safeguard early, but we still went down fast. I'm gonna try again with just Rock Slide, but I still really doubt that I'll get far past Dugong. Yeah, that's what I thought. I took out Dugong, but I still got hit by a massive Surf. I was just lucky that he used Hail and Safeguard the first time. Cloyster right after easily took us out. Okay, I'm gonna start leveling up and trying to fight over and over, but I don't think I could possibly win below level 70. It wouldn't even surprise me if I need to be a higher level than that. Low special defense and speed is really gonna hold us back in this fight. Alright, so I got to level 67 and tried some more. We still take huge damage off Dugong, but now if Cloyster opens with spikes, then we get to hit a Flamethrower for a one-shot. The problem is, next is Lapras, who's of course faster than us and easily takes us out. This is brutal. I'm thinking we're gonna need to be mid-level 70s by this point, but we'll get to just level 70 and see how that goes. Alright, you need to see this. So first we're at level 70, and Dugong just uses Surf twice to bring us to only 1 health, so obviously we lose to Cloyster. But on the next try, he only uses Surf once, Cloyster only uses Spikes, then we lose to Lapras the same way as before. This is one of those pretty random fights. I'll get to level 75 and see how this goes. Okay, so now we have enough health to survive a Surf from Lapras as long as the earlier parts of the fight go okay. But obviously we're not going to go one-shotting Lapras. Well, we're kind of getting close to a one-shot on Dugong. I think I'll switch to my Quick Claw since I doubt I need the Charcoal for Cloyster anymore, and I'm going to get to level 80. I don't know if Dugong is a one-shot yet, but it's worth a try. This is tragic. So we do great against Dugong. We don't get the one-shot on the first hit, but she just used Safeguard, then a full Restore, and in the second one we got the one-shot. Cloyster just used Hail, so we didn't get hurt much, but then Lapras confused us right away, we hit ourselves, and then we went down quickly to Surf. Fine, I'm gonna bite the bullet and go to level 85, just so that we can for sure one-shot Dugong every time. That'll take us some of the randomness so that we might actually get past this Lapras fight. Alright, so after 5 straight failed tries thanks to Confuse Ray, we had this super lucky one where not only did we not get hurt at all by Lapras, but our Quick Claw let us hit first and get a flinch. He healed back up with a full Restore, then we hit a Rock Slide and our Quick Claw let us Body Slam for the knockout. We still have full health. Not that it mattered, mind you, because next is Slowbro and we aren't doing as much damage as we need to. He even got us with Yawn, so we passed out. I can't believe how brutal this is. I guess I'll just get to level 90 and try more. So a couple tries into level 90, and we once again get a lucky flinch on Lapras, but for some reason, she didn't full Restore this time. I guess she had exactly enough health to not bother with it. Slowbro was only a 2-shot this time, so we avoided damage, but we still got hit by Yawn. Thankfully, last is Jinx, and she couldn't hurt us that much, so I just won with a Flamethrower when we woke up. Can't believe we finally got past that awful fight. Second is Fighting Trainer Bruno. After all that we went through with Lorelei, Bruno was obviously a sweep. We got hit a few times because of how slow we are, but it didn't matter, we were just too tanky. Let's get mentally prepared for how insane the Agatha fight might be. I'm using a Quick Claw on that one for sure. Third is Ghost Trainer Agatha. I thought this one might be brutal, but it was actually a pretty easy first try. One of the Gengars managed to put us to sleep and do some good damage with Nightmare, but overall it was an easy fight. Alright, well, if that was easy, then Lance is gonna be hard. Fourth is Dragon Trainer Lance. Right away, Water Onix flinches us with a bite before we hit a Rock Slide for a one-shot, but at least we didn't take too much damage. I was more worried that he'd use a water move, but he didn't. Aerodactyl obviously outspeeds us and ends up hitting an Ancient Power that buffs all of his stats. That was really unlucky for us. Our Rock Slide didn't make him faint as a result, so he used a full Restore, we hit him again, Then he hit a Hyper Beam that crit to take out a good chunk of our health before we finished him off. We're getting so unlucky this run between flinches, crits, and the stat boost. Dragonite wastes his time with Safeguard right away, so we almost got a one-shot, but we go first on the second round to finish him off before he can hit us. Second from last is Dragonair, who we nearly one-shot, but he hits Dragon Rage. Then he uses a full restore to heal back up, we body slam again, but this time we crit for a one-shot. Last is the final Dragonair, but our health is awful. He outspeeds us with Outrage, we nearly faint, our body slam leaves him with a sliver, I thought we were doomed, then our Quick Claw lets us go first to make him faint, absolutely saving the fight for us. What a crazy battle. Finally, the Pokemon Champion. So right away, Quick Claw gets me my one-shot on Pidgeot, but next is Rhydon. I was worried about how this would go, but Flamethrower crit for a one-shot, that was nice. After that was Blastoise though, and right away he uses Rain Dance, then not only hits Hydro Pump, but crits it. We can't even get a 3-shot either, so I don't think Quick Claw will save us unless maybe Hydro Pump misses. I think I'll try this a few times. All we need is one crit or to paralyze with Body Slams, and we could stand a chance. So after losing 6 times in a row, we finally get a paralysis that actually makes him miss a move. We still take a Hydro Pump, but it's not raining, so it's not a one-shot. We managed to get around him using a full restore too. But right after that is Alakazam, who outspeeds us and one-shots us. Yeah, this is a rough fight. Let's try getting to level 95. There's no way I can't beat a Torkoal challenge. So I gave this fight a solid 6 tries at level 95, but we just faint a Blastoise every time. We need crazy luck to get past it. We got past it on this 7th try, but we just fainted to Alakazam like before. I'm pulling the trigger on the rare candies. We're getting to level 100. This has gotta be possible. Alright, level 100. Pidgeot is a one-shot with Flamethrower, and Rhydon is nearly a one-shot. He missed his Rock Tomb and used a full restore, but we're faster, so we can 2-shot him down. This is a decent start. Blastoise is next, so I Body Slam and Paralyze him as he uses Rain Dance. He seems to have slightly less than half of his health, but he eats a berry, so our Rock Slide doesn't make him faint, but it flinched him, so we're still in the game. He uses a full restore as we Body Slam again, and this time it's a crit, so he faints. We still haven't gotten hurt yet. For Alakazam, we have to tank a Psychic, then Body Slam him to take it out, but the Psychic wasn't really that bad. Second from last is Executor, who is a one-shot with Flamethrower in spite of the rain. And last is Arcanine, so I hit a Rock Slide for the one-shot. I'm just so happy with how that Blastoise fight went. That was perfect. I have to say, it really surprised me that I had to get to level 100 at the end there. Torkoal is a solid Pokemon, but it was really never meant to be used in solo runs like this. Although, I guess you could say that about every Pokemon. Slow and tanky Pokemon tend to make for really interesting challenges though, so I for sure need to use Torkoal in more games. Let me know in the comments if you want to see more Torkoal runs and what games you'd be most interested in seeing it in. Like, you know, Platinum, Black, White 2, just whatever you're interested in. I really hope you guys like that run. The next Pokemon challenge should be up next week on Saturday, like usual, with Pokemon Gold with only one Shelter. Believe it or not, I have never done a Shelter run. I thought I did, but I looked it up. I have not done a Shelter run, so I'm doing a Shelter run. As always, I'm looking at your suggestions in the comments, in the challenge request section of my Discord channel, and on Twitter. Subscribe, ring the bell, stay tuned. Outro time, I'm in a little bit of a rush today. And the reason I'm in a bit of a rush today is because right after this voiceover, I'm going to be recording more of that Project Zomboid Let's Play I've been doing with my friend Clippy. You can find the playlist for that in the playlist section of my channel. We've been playing a lot of Project Zomboid, and we haven't played it in a few months now. We're finally free again, so we're going to record a big session of that, and I'll get it up on YouTube. I mean, by the time you're hearing this, even if you're hearing it early on Patreon, I'm sure the Project Zomboid recording that we're doing today will already be up in the playlist section, so you can watch it there early if you like Project Zomboid, because it's a super, super fun game. But I need to get I need to make like a protein smoothie, you know, like a protein fruit smoothie type thing. Get that in me, and then message her, and we will get recording. So thank you everybody so much for watching. Until next time, have a nice day.